what's going on, guys? It's Punkavai here for MMOBomb.com. Today I'm going to do a first impression gameplay video for MechWarrior Online, a 3D mech simulation MMO published by Piranha Games. And I'll spend about 15-20 minutes or so checking the game out, making my usual comments. If you guys want to learn more about MechWarrior Online, I highly suggest you check down below at MMOBomb.com for the full game profile. Just so to start off with here, the explanation of the game, MechWarrior Online, or MechWarrior rather, the universe of MechWarrior has been around for quite a long time. It's been around since the 80s, and various games have been published both on PC and on Xbox and other consoles, etc., as the series has progressed. Now that Piranha Games has taken over the reins of creating a new MechWarrior game, they decided to make a free-to-play MechWarrior Online, where players will actually be able to participate in the game's history, so the universe's history. And what I mean by that is, if you spend a day, say for example today is October 3rd, 2012, that is equivalent to October 3rd, 3049. And every day that you progress, in the history of the game, things will unlock, new mechs will become available, battles will happen, things that go along with the timeline within the game's universe, which I think is really awesome and really cool. So to begin with here, we're actually going to click over to Mech Lab. In the Mech Lab, you can kind of get a sense of the different mechs that you have available, as well as what their loadouts are, what their customization is, what weapons they have equipped, etc. Now, these are the trial mechs. These are all the Founders mechs, and Founder mechs are the mechs that are available to you if you pre-purchase the game. Now, the game is free to play, but you can do a pre-purchase, which a lot of games have been doing recently, where it allows you into the beta a lot faster, and also gives you different kind of these super mechs, these mechs that are exclusive to the pre-purchase. So in this case, we have the Jennifer, the Hunchback, the Catapult, and the Atlas. All these mechs are available to players if they did some kind of pre-purchase thing. On the other side of this, we have the Own mechs, which allows you to purchase these mechs and then customize them to your own liking. So right here, I have one own mech, which is the Catapult right here. And just like if you guys have played World of Tanks, for example, you'll notice over here that you can kind of see the breakdown of what is available on this on the left and right, and then auto repair and auto rearm. So between matches, you will repair your mech, you will rearm it, you will change things, you will upgrade it, and new weapons or change weapons out, etc. So there's a lot of customization options in the game. So players that are fans of games such as World of Tanks would definitely enjoy this. And I think if you're fans of games like X-Steel, etc., you'd be a fan of MechWarrior Online, because there's not a lot of mech simulation MMOs or just mech MMOs out there currently. So let's go ahead and jump into the game here. Now, before a game starts, you have to choose whichever mech you want to go in the game with. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the Atlas. Now, the Atlas is the Assault class, which is the largest class currently available. It goes light, medium, heavy, and then Assault. So Assault's the largest here. It's also the slowest, but it has the most guns as well as the most armor. Let's go ahead and jump into the game now. I'm just going to hit launch here, and we'll see what exactly the Atlas here has to offer us. Alrighty guys, so we're now back in the game here. Everybody's loading in the match here. This is one of the frozen maps here, and with the frozen map, what's actually really cool or interesting about it is your mech has the ability to see infrared, so you can see your targets. Although there's limited visibility, you can change it over to infrared, see your targets from afar, and shoot them. Now, the way this game works is you don't have an ammo system. Rather, you have an ammo system for some guns, but other guns, such as lasers, use what's called a heat system. Now, these mechs here, if I push forward with the W, I'll start moving forward very slowly at a constant speed, and if I hit W some more, I'll start to speed up. Now, if I hit X, I'll completely come to a standstill. So your top of your body rotates independently of your legs, so you can kind of have this almost Xbox style Halo thing where you can move independently while your legs move a separate direction here. Now, if you guys have been playing World of Tanks, like I've said before, you should be immediately familiar with a game mode like this. In this game mode, you can win either by killing the enemy team or by capturing their base by being in the base radius. There's a little light mech going off, doing a little scouting. Light mechs are really great for early scouting as well as just kiting around. While heavy mechs are kind of like the tanks and the bruisers, really good at assaulting, being at the front. But they do to make sure they don't get focus fired. Now, the guns are on my right-hand side. I currently have two large lasers, an LRM, which is long-range missile, SRM, which is short-range missile, and then AC-10. I don't know what AC-10 stands for, but it's basically it gives me ability to shoot rockets from afar and kind of lob them at enemies, almost like a mortar fire, I guess you could say. Each of these weapons, though, have a range indicator. So if you look at the large lasers, the range indicator for those are 450 meters, whereas the LRM is 1,000 meters. So some weapons only can go a certain distance. You need to basically hover over your enemy. In this case, my friendly here, he's 72 meters away. I could use any weapon on him. So we're all coming here to the right-hand side, and I believe, what is it? I forget what it is to turn on the nightshade, or turn on the basically the infrared. But one cool thing about this map as well is that because we're in a frozen area, I won't heat up as well. Now when you heat up too much, what ends up happening is your mech what ends up happening is your mech essentially will overheat, allowing you to not fire weapons and to not move. Your mech kind of goes in the shutdown mode. So you need to manage your weapons, manage your heat to make sure that you don't overheat. Now there's a mech over here, and if I hover over him, it actually will form a lock-on, and then I can hit some different weapons here, different lasers, and as you can see, boom, it'll shoot different rockets at him. Now your mech's can take a lot of damage, and what I need to make sure is I need to make sure that I'm only using the weapons that I can either hit them with, or I don't want to, you know, accrue too much heat with. So in this case here, I can use my long-range missiles, but I do need to make sure that I have a lock-on in order to actually use them. So this guy over here is in a little bit of a bad spot, but we're going to come around here. The enemy has already killed one of our teammates. I'm going to try to come around here and get a little bit of help. Hopefully use my large lasers here at a 450 range in order to do some pretty massive damage. Alright, use my lasers here, shoot some rockets, all kinds of good stuff. Come on. Alright, let's do that here. He's down to 72%. I'm not really taking any damage. Oh, we got a big boy here. Alright, so we're going to have to unfortunately pull back. And our base is under fire. I'm going to use some lasers here. Now, the base is probably getting attacked by smaller mechs. Now, those smaller mechs are good at kind of kiting around to get behind us. But they aren't really good at doing face-to-face attacks. Now, if I kind of switch over here, I can choose between different abilities and different weapons to fire with my left and right mouse button here. Now, we're up by 2 kills already. Awesome. So let's see if I can get a little lock on here and fire my rockets. Now, my heat is on the right-hand side. You notice it's only 28%. Just went up to 50% there. And I'll try to use my SRM this time now. My SRM is kind of unguided, whereas my other missiles have to be guided in order for them to really connect. That guy's down to 27% HP. He's going to have to run away. Let's see if we can get an assist. Now, you can blow off parts. You can blow off things like armor portions of the enemy mech. You can blow off weapons. You can blow off entire arms, guys. You can even knock certain mechs down. Somebody's shooting some lasers at me. I'm taking the brunt. I'm just going to kind of come out of here, make sure I don't get hit. Now, what's cool is that, you know, you see those rockets hitting me right now. I actually have anti-rocket systems, or I don't, but other people do, and you can accrue them well. And what those allow you to do is kind of shoot down some of the rockets as they come towards you. So let's hopefully I can get over here, kind of come up to these guys as quickly as I can, kind of get in their face and kind of do a lot of damage. All right, so here's another hunchback, down to just a few. Let's shoot some rockets here. Gonna shoot some rockets at him. Oh yeah, I got myself a kill. So those do a lot of damage, and unfortunately, we are out of position here, so we'll need to go and take the enemy's base as quickly as possible before they end up taking our base. So yeah, go, 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 capture the base, go, go! Alright, let's do this. So who are going to be fans of this game? People who enjoy slower-paced simulation games. I mean, this is definitely a simulation game. Who enjoy a lot of things to monitor and to keep track of would definitely enjoy MechWarrior. I mean, there's a couple other Mech games rather coming out. One of them is Hawken, for example, but those often offer a faster-paced experience for players. So players who are wanting a faster-paced experience, something that's, you know, you're going to get multiple kills during a game mode and not just maybe 1 or 2 and a couple assists, would enjoy Hawken. But those players who enjoy a true mech experience where you're managing a lot of systems, you're in a huge hulking thing, as you can see I'm taller than all these buildings, then you guys will definitely enjoy MechWarrior. It is a slower experience, but it is a vastly different experience and one that players I think will really enjoy. So hopefully we'll win this match. We do need a couple more mechs in here in order to accrue. I do believe I see an enemy coming up behind us. I'm going to position myself to be facing him, and as soon as he comes out, I'm going to blast his face here. Boom! What's going on? Alright, let's get that guy there. Let's shoot some rockets at his face. Now, if I focus a certain area, which is what I'm doing, I'll be able to blow off components. So what I'm trying to focus is his cockpit, which will do extremely large amounts of damage, and to hopefully take him out. Ah, so he does go down, so I did get a kill assist on that. I'm going to fire some rockets at that. This guy, some small lasers here, got a little bit of heat warning. I got to make sure that I don't overheat. If I do overheat, I will end up coming down and not working out, or not turning on. But we're going to win this match because we're just sitting here, and as I looked, I did 255 damage, 1 kill, and 2 assists. Max person did is 444 damage here, so a nice little win there, not bad at all. Didn't die, this is what I was looking for, so let's go ahead and jump out of this and go back to the mech screen. So now that we're back to the mech lab here, we see that my mech has been completely repaired. Now if we go to my own mechs real quick, I can kind of show you the customization options. So here's a mech, this catapult. He doesn't have any arms, but his weapons are equipped here on the left and right side. If I hit configure, I'm able to look at each individual part, as you can see, to kind of customize each part. Now LRM ammo stands for like long range missile ammo. So not only do you have to equip and have space for your ammo, but you also have to have space obviously for your guns. And there's a whole weight system. So if you look at the tonnage over here, the max this mech can carry is 65 tons. So you really need to take into account what guns you want to equip and make sure that you're customizing your mech so not only can it equip the best guns for the situation, but you're not going to immediately overheat, or you're not going to have enough ammo. You know, those are things that need to be considered, which I think is really cool to have such a large range and full customization options as far as what you want to do with your mech. So I can take this LRM-15 off, which shoots 15 rockets, and I can substitute that, for example, LRM-10, which is accepts less space, but it allows me to equip, say, an LRM-10 as well as an LRM-5 or an SRM-2. So different weapons give you different customization options. You know, once I put the LRM-15 in there, I can no longer equip anything else because I've reached the max tonnage. And you can also have different amounts of armor, etc. So in this game, let's go ahead and go back to home, because I haven't actually had a lot of time to customize my own mech. But if we go back to the mech lab real quick here, I'm going to cancel out of this, and we're going to choose a different type of mech. So we just had a Atlas last time. Let's go ahead and try the Jennifer. So the Jennifer mech here is a light mech. It's not really suitable for taking on heavy mechs straight on, but it's good at going behind enemy lines and kind of kiting around people, doing a little bit of poking damage, and then of course taking out the enemy's base from afar. We got that, but you know, let's go ahead and go with Catapult. Catapult's got two PPC weapons, which is two large cannons, as you can see on the side, and they're pretty badass. It's most likely, or most best for shooting mechs from afar. It's kind of almost like a sniper. You can even put Gauss rifles on this weapon here, or on this guy here, and be like an ultimate sniper, but not very good at close range. So let's go ahead and launch into this game and try out this new mech. There are several different maps that are available, so hopefully we'll get a different map. So we're loading up a new map here. This one's called River City, and the mode is of course Assault. No other modes are currently available in the game, but I suspect once the game comes live, we'll have different modes like deathmatch, or you know, capture something, etc. But Assault makes the most sense given the fact that we're working with large robots assaulting each other. So we're breaking in here. This is more of a cityscape setting, along with the fact that there's a large river in the middle where mechs can kind of jump inside, and I believe it also will cool them down. So it's really awesome that the environment cools down certain aspects of the mech. You know, that area we were in before, the icy area, the wintry area, that area allows me to shoot my guns much more quickly because I won't heat them up. But in this case, I will have to watch them to kind of monitor a little bit better. So this mech here, it's a medium mech. It's good for long range assaults. As you can see there, I've got two twin cannons that do from 540 meters, and then I have some machine guns which are only at a measly 90 meters, and then I've got some medium lasers at 270 meters out. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my large lasers from afar, try to snipe some people off with it. It does dissipating damage. What that means is it will apply heat to them, meaning that their weapons will overheat quicker if you hit them with a weapon, and it'll do splash damage to all their components. So if you aim for one area, it'll do splash damage to components around the other area around it. So there's a lot of depth to how exactly these mechs interact with each other, and as well as how do you take out mechs. You'll notice in the bottom left hand corner, that is my armor setting area. And that will tell me areas of my mech that have been damaged, or if an area's been blown off, how damaged an area is, etc. Giving me a lot of feedback here. Let's go ahead and increase this. I'm going to jump around down here in the water. Now you may notice this little reticule in the middle. Your lasers always originate from a certain point, so while you may be able to say like look up, I will only be able to shoot up into the reticule, even though my mouse goes farther than that, because the lasers are oriented in that direction. They come out of your body essentially. The game, however, looks fairly good considering this is a CryEngine 3 engine. I think there could be a little bit more color, or a little bit more differentiating in the environments. We seem to have like a similar palette based on all the different maps that I've seen. The palettes are basically, you know, they dull, or they follow one color type. Now, man, there's already a friendly mech making its way, or an enemy mech making its way into our base, so somebody will have to actually deal with that. Hopefully one of our lighter mechs. I'm going to come around here to the side and try to get some poke damage off. I can use the middle mouse button here to zoom in, and you'll be surprised. I'm not able to see the enemy yet there. It's a little bit farther out, 600 meters, so I will need to get a little closer. 540 meters is my max engagement range, so engagement range are things that you do need to take into account. Let's come over here. I'm not going to worry about this paltry little... I can't believe I didn't crush that. I just kind of walked over. That's a pretty strong little 18-wheeler there. So let's go ahead and come in here a little closer. Hopefully get ourselves... I don't want to get too close because I am a medium mech, but I want to get close enough at least to see the target. And base is under attack. I don't see anybody. Did they all go that way? Alright, they must be all on the right-hand side because I only see one guy assaulting this guy currently. Coming here a little closer. See one guy also there. Yeah, it's just one-on-one. I'm going to come over here and assist my little buddy. Going to come up this way in my giant catapult mech. I always like to think that these guys have personalities, like, here I come, giant catapult mech, because they have faces a lot of times. So it kind of gives them personality aspects. Alright, so let's zoom in here. PPC is ready. Just got to wait for this guy. Boom! PPC right in the face. Hey, PPC. Boom! There again. Alright, let's use some medium lasers here. I get a little bit of heat warning out of Mech Chop, but this guy is a little light mech, and he has got to make sure not to get too close, because he'll end up getting taken out. Shoot another PPC, and now I've got the heat warning, so now my mech is shutting down. I will have to pull back just a little bit there. It is 2-on-1, but this guy is a little bit low. Just gotta wait for my PPCs to come up here again. Boom! Take that in the backside. I love doing that. Two of these guys left here. One of them is missing a side weapon. As you can see, got blown off. Boom! I think I blew off the other one, or at least did damage. Yeah, component destroyed. Awesome. So now I'm getting focus fire. I need to pull myself around, and I'll come up here, use my boost jets. Oh, wait, I don't have boost jets. Never mind. Alright, so this guy here. Oh, we both just shut down. As you can see, both of us are kind of come down. Alright, so we don't have any real heat. So all I can do is shoot my little machine guns. Don't do a lot of damage. They do decent damage once you knock off some of the armor components. But unfortunately, they don't do too well just on their own. So let's make sure that I'm not getting surrounded here. I'm going to kind of come around. Did some good damage. I think I got a component destruction there, which is awesome. I am getting attacked by a small mech now, but that's alright. Hey, small mech. Boom! I was going to get a little damage on you. Another mech's coming around here. Got to make sure I do not get focused. Alright. So as you can see, the smaller mech, he can really move fairly quickly. And so you do need to make sure that you're not getting circled by them. My left arm took quite a bit of damage. As you can see, I'm down to the inner armor. Let's see here. Got a little bit more damage on him. And I just need to make sure that I just don't get focused. Alright, so we're in the enemy base now. We need to start actually focusing on getting on the enemy base. He's only got little missiles, rather, or light lasers, rather, not missiles. So he's not able to do a ton of damage to me, but he's kind of able to poke at me if I don't, really pay attention to him too much. Alright, so let's come back over here into the base area. I'm going to come back over here and stay stationary. And there is friendly fire in this game, so you do need to make sure that you're not... I totally missed him with that. You do need to make sure that you're not hitting your friendly units, because you will end up doing damage to them. Get a little damage on him there. And I want to hit him with my PPC weapons. But there is a little bit of delay before you can use them. So I'll wait for my thing to cool down just a bit. He's running away at this point, though. But hopefully, we are now in the lead as far as taking out the enemy base. So this light assault will have to do something, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything, really, because of the fact that we do have 3 mechs here, and 2 of the larger mechs, 2 of us are already at, pretty much full HP. I'm probably at 90% or something like that. So we're probably going to end this win again. Here he comes again. Hey, buddy. Boom! I love the sound of that weapon. I did get a component destruction, which is awesome. I'm going to shoot that guy from behind. Oh, okay. We got 2 light assaults. One of them got knocked over. So as a light assault, you will actually end up getting knocked over. And I got a kill assist on the other one. So you will actually end up getting knocked over if you run into another light assault. So I didn't do too much damage, but I did get an assist there. Let's try to get a different match going. Alright, so you got to see that kind of long range firing weapons there. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and try out one more mech before we end it here. I'm going to go back to the mech lab, and we'll show off the Hunchback. Now the Hunchback, he is a kind of lob style mortaring mech where he fires with his LRM-10s. He fires a lot of missiles from afar, and he's good at doing long distance range, even longer distance than the catapult, rather. Let's go ahead and hit launch here and try this mech out, and then we're going to end up giving our final conclusions about the game. Alright, so starting our final match here. Looks like we're in a more mountainous area here with a little bit of water. Overall, guys, I have to say this game is really fun if you enjoy mech-based games. For those who are looking for a little bit faster paced experience or want a little bit more gun on gun action, guaranteed kills, I would definitely recommend checking out Hawken. But for those who want a true mech simulation style experience, I would recommend MechWarrior Online. It is a good game. It is only going to get better over time, and I really feel it fills a niche in the free-to-play market that really hasn't been filled to this degree. I would say that I would recommend the game developers adding a little bit more of a tutorial in the game. There's not really a lot of explanation currently as far as how players would go about customizing their mech or adding mech, or what's the difference between weight as well as the different systems that are available in the mechs. There's not a lot of information given to new players on how to actually operate that. You'll notice here also that this area here has different numbers, 1 through 6. This is also something to me, especially for me, that I found trouble or issue understanding, and this is the different weapon groups. You can fire these independently of each other, and you can set them independently. So weapon group 1, for example, will fire medium lasers as well as small lasers. Weapon group 2 will fire just a small laser as well as the medium lasers, the other ones. And then weapon 3 is also LRMs. And then you have 4 and 5. In this case, 4 I have set to LRM as medium lasers, and 5 is just medium lasers. All of the medium lasers. So it does give you a lot of freedom in how you go about shooting your weapons and which weapons you shoot. You don't just shoot all of them. You have a choice of, in this case, like 6 different weapons versus, Hawken and other games doing just 1 or 2 weapons. So 6 weapons is a lot for a player to deal with. And a lot to take into account. Certain weapons have different firing rates. Certain weapons have different heat rates. That's a lot to actually remember here. Now I'm operating on 11% heat. So I'm already at 11% heat, which means that I think this is like a volcano, which means that I do in fact have to watch my weapons even more because I'm already at a heat level before even firing anything. So coming over this hill, this is usually a hill where a lot of engagements occur. Usually you want to come up here first so you can kind of see them coming over the hill and fire some rockets. Now the scouters, those guys that are way up there, they actually can spot exactly where the mechs are and give us kind of heads up, allowing us to further position ourselves better as well as get earlier lock-ons. So I did see a guy come over here. I'm gonna kind of come stationary just for a second, make sure I don't see anybody too quick. I'm a little bit of a bad spot because I am like the highest point, so I'm gonna bring myself back down here in order to make sure I am not in line of fire. Now the area here, as you can see, I'm already up to 22 heat now, which probably means that I'm on this volcano. So I do have to actually work with that in as far as like my limitations, which is really cool, to actually have the environment in play. Oh, there's a mech right here. Oh, there's a big boy. Hey guy. All right, so let's come on. I'm gonna come on, fire my things, my rockets. There we go. Finally I can fire my rockets here. So I'm gonna hit LRM 5 rather to do some damage. This guy's not even moving. I think I just got hit by a PPC. So the PPC, like I mentioned before, do in fact get you overheated, which I think there's a guy in the distance over there shooting PPCs at me, which is why my heat all of a sudden went to 100. So I'm just going to go ahead and back up just a bit here, make sure I'm not getting sniped or anything like that. I'm going to bring my speed back to 0 here, and then fire my rockets. Fire the lasers. Oh damn. So I think I fired a little bit too much right there. So I'm just going to come back here. I don't think I'm being shot. I don't see any information come out here, but maybe it's just perhaps where I am on the map. This guy here looks like he's disconnected though, but hey, free kill, why not? I like the fact that his things actually open whenever they end up firing, which is actually a really awesome thing. Alright, so let's fire that, and then let's fire some rockets. The rockets do, if I fire rockets, they do a lot of, they require a lot of heat rather to fire. Some heat warning. Alright, so let's go ahead and back up. They've already taken out one of our guys though, and we can't even take out this AFK guy. I feel terrible. This guy is just disconnected earlier. Alright, so let's wait for this down. He finally goes down, but it doesn't even matter because he wasn't even there. So now it's like a friendly score of 1-1, but it's really 1-0 because that guy was disconnected. Alright, so let's come over here. Wait for my heat to cool down just a little bit. I'm going to use my medium lasers in this case. That guy is lagging just a bit here. I'm trying to use my medium lasers just to get a little bit of damage off. I don't want to fire my rockets at this closer range, because you do need to have a lock on in order to fire them and actually for them to hit their target most of the time. This guy, I think he did overheat, so now he's in a bad spot, although I think he's lagging. Yeah, he is lagging. He is indeed lagging. And I'm taking this random, I think like the volcano is, I think the volcano keeps like erupting or something, because I randomly get this heat applied to me and I go back up to 100% and end up dying. But alright, oh, maybe the game is lagging or something. I don't know what's going on. Let's come back over here. Heat warning seems to be the name of the game when it comes to Hunchback on this level. Oh man, we got all kinds of damage going on here. Alright, so let's slow down here for a second here. Fire our LRMs if possible. Yeah, so the LRMs are... I think I'm lagging, actually. Let's look at our ping real quickly here. How is Spunkaway? 91? Nope. It's just being a little bit of delayed firing, and I'm getting shot from a couple of angles, unfortunately. Oh, people are disconnecting left and right. I think the match is just bad. Alright, guys. Well, in this case, we'll go ahead and end it here for now. As you can see, it's extremely hard to shoot anything. But beta is beta, and it is closed beta. For those of you who haven't tried or would like to try MechWarrior Online, as I get shot here from behind, I highly recommend you guys go to MMOBomb.com, because we do have beta keys currently available for the game. But this will be it for now. It's a little bit too hard right now to play the game. This has been Spunkify. I'll see you guys for the next video. This has been Spunkify out. Later, guys.